young and old, sisters, mothers, daughters who have graced our lives with their presence, their energy, and their spirit. We understand that many aren't able to be here today with us, and for this, we hold the candle and sage and prayer and acknowledge all the women who aren't able to be here with us today.
I'm always so glad to see people come out to really hear what we have to say, because this is such an important time in history. So on April 14th, Boko Haram terrorists barged into a boarding school for girls in the middle of the night, pretending to be part of the Nigerian military. They torched the entire place and loaded 276 16 to 18-year-old girls into trailers to be utilized as sex slaves, to be forced into marriages and religions that they never consented to be potentially detonated by bombs attached to their young bodies. These were weapons of war. 57 of those girls courageously escaped on their own, but not before some of them were raped, brutally beaten, and were broken, not just in their bodies, but also in their spirits. One of them that I met in June of 2014 was actually unable to speak. But in this version of the story, the entire world rallied together, demanding bring back our girls. World leaders marched arm in arm in solidarity. They held up placards. Celebrities posted on their pages to millions of fans, bring back our girls. The hashtag bring back our girls was tweeted 3.8 million times in a single month. Western countries put boots on ground, sparing no expense, risking a potential World War III just to get 219 girls back. Within 5 days, all of these girls were rescued and reunited with their families. Those that were traumatized received counseling and were welcomed back into their communities with open arms. They were national heroes. Except this idealized fairy tale ending didn't take place in the town of Chibok in northeastern Nigeria. And that's actually where the abduction occurred. This fairy tale ending is what would have happened had this abduction taken place in Portland, Maine, in Brentwood, England, even in Paris, France. The reality is that 705 days later, 219 young African girls with the same hopes and dreams as the girls in my fictional story remain unaccounted for. They remain in the hands of savages who force grown men to swallow bullets for breakfast, who force young boys to watch their mothers raped in their presence. These are terrorists that have sworn allegiance to ISIS. They've decapitated men, women, and children of all religions, of all ages, in their bloodthirsty pursuit of what they believe is their mandate to Islamize Nigeria. So here we are, here you are, listening to a mother who had the privilege of waking up my daughter this morning and telling her, I love you. But I know that there are 219 mothers who have not had a chance to do that in almost 2 years. The same 24 hours that goes by for me, for you, is the same 24 hours that goes by for each of these mothers. So what's the most recent update about the abduction of the Chibok girls that occurred on April 14th of 2014? The unfortunate reality is that there is none. Since their abduction almost 2 years ago, none of these girls have been heard from or seen. None of the reported sightings have proven to be true. On May 26th of 2014, the Nigerian military told us that they knew where the girls were. They told us to be hopeful, that the nightmare would soon be over. Day after day went by and there was no liberation for the Chibok girls. The days turned to weeks and the weeks to months. It was 6 months. And then who would have thought that we would be commemorating the 1-year anniversary? Worldwide, we've all rallied. We've all protested. 500 days. Those of us that have been committed to this cause have demanded. We've amplified the voices of these girls in a world where the value of human life is often determined not by its sanctity, but by the strength of a country's currency on the exchange rate in the global market. So in other words, based on US conversion rates, one Western life has the same value as 219 Nigerian lives. This is why I believe 705 days later, we are still demanding bring back our girls, because fairy tale endings don't happen, they don't come true for all of us. And what I genuinely want the West to appreciate today is the fact that this fight goes beyond whether or not girls can be educated in schools. It permeates into this warped mindset, into this antediluvian thinking and belief that is maintained in many patriarchal societies, including Nigeria, that women are less valuable than men and that they should be subjugated and disrespected. It is that mindset, it is that inequity of thought that needs to be condemned and reevaluated. So 705 days later, I would be insane if I hadn't seen my daughter and aware of the things that were actually happening to these girls, wherever they are. Imagine, just think about that for a moment. The Nigerian government, which should take the lead, does not know where the girls are. There is no intelligence whatsoever about their whereabouts. The United States and other Western countries are willing to donate machinery. They're willing to assist with training, but nobody will put boots on ground. Now do you see why your voice matters? One thing I know for sure is that it is easier to sit for nothing than to stand for something. Justice demands both your compassion and activism, because at the end of the day, we all want peace. But there can be no peace until there is justice, and there will be no justice until there's an acknowledgement of the fact that women and girls have the same value as their male counterparts. And so we need your help. The truth of the matter is that any sense of urgency seems to have dissipated with the dwindling hope of the fathers and mothers whose desperate faces reflect their diseased souls. I've met some of them, and I can tell you it's hard for me to look them in the eye. We know for sure that 20 parents so far have died as a result of stress-related illnesses. We have failed them. But yet, hope endures. 219 chapters of history remain unwritten and must be written. We must force those in power to realize that it is equally abusive not to use that power for the well-being of those who you've been placed in authority over. We must remind them that evil will not persist in our world because we are the good people who will agitate until these girls are rescued and rehabilitated. So as you leave today, I think you might have received, some of you may have received our What You Can Do flyers. Please take them, attend our vigil, which is on April 14th, support our awareness campaign, which is actually on the sheet that you should have. But you can go to our website, and each of these necklaces that you buy, representing numbers 1 to 219, a portion of the proceeds will go to supporting the girls who have been rescued by the Nigerian government. There are also some girls here in the United States, of the 57 that escaped, and for 5 of them, we are actually conducting a drive. And you'll see all that information on your sheet, because I think it's important that we collectively come together and say that we will not allow this to happen on our watch, because what happens in Africa will not stay in Africa. Right. Eventually it will land on the shores of the West, and we will be affected by it. So I think ultimately at the end of the day, it's important that we remain as dedicated, as committed to peace, if not more so than terrorists are to war. Because these are your sisters, these are your daughters, these are our girls. So we ask that you rally with us as we continue to demand bring back our girls. Thank you.
Thank you, Yvonne, for your very poignant words on this serious topic. And please, our last statement, do remember that these are our girls. They are just girls that are being abused every day. They are away from their family.
Thank you all for coming here this morning. Thank you to the performers who opened this for us and reminded us really of why we're doing this, right? I don't have a lot of prepared comments. I'm just going to speak from, from the heart. And I think I want to start with a chant, right? So, bring back
our girls.
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 Now and alive.
Amen.
Yvonne just told us about the two fronts that the struggle is working on. One is the struggle to bring back these 219 girls who were abducted from Chibok in April 2014, almost 2 years. And that's linked to a struggle to bring back all the people, the boys, the girls, the school kids, who were abducted by Boko Haram for their own terrorist agenda over the past several years, even before Chibok, and ever since. Okay. So that's one front, bring them back to their lives, to a normal life, some kind of normalcy in Nigeria. The second front is what you bring them back to.
Right.
So the question of what kind of society produces an ideology that makes certain people disposable, and how can we transform it so they come back to a different kind of society where all are valuable? The Chibok girls were adolescent girls, they were teenage girls. But it's also important to remember that they were teenage girls from remote areas of northern Nigeria. So in our societies, we have major issues with gender equality, but we also have major issues with inequality, period. If these were the daughters of senators or the daughters of oil barons, they might be back today. They might have been back even a week. So we want to keep that in mind as well. Inequality is a poison in Nigeria and in our world. That second front is the one I want to talk a little bit about. Just this month in Nigeria, twice, a bill for gender and equal opportunity was brought to the Senate, and twice it was rejected. And it was rejected by a kind of a caucus of senators. It was presented by a woman senator, Abiodun Olujimi. It was rejected by a caucus of senators, really kind of blocked, concentrated in the north, and on the grounds of making cultural arguments about how the Gender and Equal Opportunity Bill seemed counter to their society and their culture and their norms. I think that if gender equality is counter to social norms and cultural norms, then cultures and societies need to change.
Absolutely.
And we need to be ready to fight that fight so that we can transform these cultures and societies that allow for the devaluation of girls, that allow for the devaluation of the poor, that allow for the devaluation of the vast majority of their own populations. We need to be ready to give that up, transform them radically, and take the fight to the defenders of the status quo. So that's just all I wanted to add, is that this struggle is to bring back the girls, but the struggle is also to bring back the girls to a better world, to a better Nigeria. And there will be resistance, and as there always has been, to the kinds of transformations that women, feminist women, are trying to bring to our world. And that struggle is long, a lot of us know this, but we are the ones fighting the good fight.
Yes.
So it's inevitable, it is necessary that we must win this fight. And once and for all, bring back
our girls.
Thank you.